Nice squeeze. Nice squeeze. Hi ho, hi ho. Side note, I don't think it's a coincidence that filthy little Disney, freaking made that the song that the dwarves sing as they meet Snow White. Yeah, very suspicious, Disney. I see what you're doing there, you little subliminal little turds. Anyway, so you saw the freaking title of this video. So the context behind this, and skip to this time code if you don't want the context, is so we have this persuasive writing class, where you write to persuade people, and it's a class inside of college where you learn writing that is persuasive. This class headed up by a female teacher. All the year long, I had kind of been feeling out what I could get away with, different weird joke formats, seeing how well they fared with the class, and whether or not that response, allowed me to get away with it with the teacher and with a satisfactory grade. We all presented papers in front of the class. We would project the paper up on the screen, and the person who wrote it would read through it in front of the class. Gradually throughout the year, a sort of theme had developed between me and one of the other male students. Male students. This theme was the fact that he would occasionally make like a goofy little spelling error, but every time it would come up afterward, I would like double down on how the error in the spelling actually lent it to a subtler, more beautiful expression, a more original, a more developed, a more ingenious expression of art. Something for like example, he would say, the man ran and jumped through a pane of glass. He would spell it P-A-I-N instead of P-A-N-E. And I would say, whoa, guys, this is actually ingenious because he's accomplishing two things at once, killing two birds with one stone in this here little ditty, this little phrase. Rather than saying, oh, the man was defenestrated, he went through a pane of glass. Anybody can say that. No, he went through the pain of breaking a glass and freaking buggering himself through the shards of it. Yeah, that's painful in multiple senses. So I had done that like over 3 times at this point. And then the second to last week or whatever, I did it another time. And so one of the ladies in the class was like, Josiah, you got a crush on this dude? Context, his name is Sam Klein. Yeah, I'm doxing him. And he's redheaded and taller than I am. You got a freaking little smoochy woochy out for the Sam Klein over there?
Yeah! Good guess, but actually no.
At the time, I forget what I said, but it planted this dirty little bitter, freaking hateful seed within my body for that joke. Because I've done stand-up comedy a couple of times, and I really just, I self-identify as a comedian, so everything I say is funny. And I hate it when somebody cracks a joke that's not me. So this whole assignment was essentially a tit for her tat. Essentially me escalating the joke further than she would be willing to go. I wrote this and I made it really spicy. Essentially what I did was I felt out the line of what I thought would be acceptable in the college. Then I pushed the line a little further, erased it and drew another line. And then I took a big step over the line. And that's how I ended up here. And I was really excited to present it in front of the class. And so naturally, the teacher, she got sick and she just read it on her own by herself this sort of modest, demure teacher who's female by herself while she's sick without any of my emphases and delivery. One of the biggest curses of all of this is the fact that the lady that it was written as a response to didn't even ever get to experience it. So I've been sharing the love around, showing this to various people, including the man this is written to. And it's garnered some interesting response, so I thought I'd put it up here for y'all nerds to pick apart. So without any further ado, a love letter. Or, never joke with a comedian, for he will always take it further than you. Or, how I flunked persuasive writing. Side note, I have not to this day looked at the grade that I got on this assignment. I hope I never will. It'd be fun to take that to my grave. Anyway, to the body of the text. I like Sam. I like Sam. Underlined, italicized, and bolded. All caps. Sam, you look like Ed Sheeran, redhead. And I can't get enough of the shape of you. Your celestial hair is the color of the compressed passion, red, that wells in my breast. It curls like the tracks of my intestines when you shimmer into my vision. The raw sillage of pheromones that you trail, unbidden, invisible through the air that I gratefully breathe, makes my hormones belly dance. That air, that very air, vibrating under your vulpine, wolfish voice.
Yeah, so I am, what do you call it, furry? It is definitely not just a sex thing.
Vulpine voice, a little alliteration. Circles back to Cicero, sings to my soul. The muses invoke your rhetorical spirit when they need inspiration. Even your spelling flaws, because I told you, even your spelling flaws are flawless. Your mistakes, the height of perfection. Let's remove ourselves from these drab Platonic discussions of your limitless virtues of personality and return to a more Epicurean theme. Your titillating and scintillating bod, an Olympian jawline. It threatens to stop my pounding heart with divine lightning, because Olympian, is thinking Zeus. It echoes the thunder of your voice. But I would rather spend a day in that merciless heat and under your muscly feet. This is a development of a theme that you'll see later on of just random rhyming. Merciless heat under your muscly feet, than 1,000 in the safety of a less defibrillatorial world. Because, stopping my heart with divine lightning. It is the height of a stretch, I know. The world says, beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder, which rings more true than beauty lies in the eyebrows of the subject, because you don't have any. They're very blonde, very hard to see. But who needs eyebrows when we can have love and AIDS? Man, that's delicious. Let's see here. I don't just look up to you ideologically or authorially. What the turd is this word? Authorially. But best, because, I flatter his writing. But best and most debonair of all, physically as well. You hearken back to the Nephilim, and that image seems to put your heavy six-fingered hand in mine. I squeeze. Okay, the repetition isn't in there. Vertigo smites me, just ogling up past the syntholic horizon of your pecs. Synthol, I think, is one of these oily compounds that fake bodybuilders inject into their body. So it's like calling him a bodybuilder, but like in a weird and passive-aggressive way. I don't know why it came out of my fingers. What color are your eyes? I don't know. Could you remember the color of a pickup if the only times you had the pleasure of seeing it, it was running you over? I might not remember the specific wavelength of your irises, but the imprint of their tire treads will be mashed forever on my soul. Speaking of irises, you have 2 of those, and why not add a rose to that collection? And a wedding cake. Yeah. Sam, you sparkle my creed. You peep my Buttigieg. You sodomize my Gomorrah. Ouch. The prudes will hamper our union of body and mind, but to listen to them, I'm not inclined. Your cheeky smile and boyish chuckle seem to loosen my belt buckle. Yeah. Some may say, Josiah. Fake intellectual, Sammy boy here is heterosexual. Well then, I'll keep you guessing. Scroll. When I'm cross-dressing. Yeah. So I'm never ever going to check the grade I got on this. Thank you for sticking around to the end, you creepos. I might have to die someday.
I like Sam.